Welcome back to Countercultural Life. It's all about being countercultural in life. And this time, this podcast, this show, this version, I get to ask the questions to my beautiful, lovely wife, best friend, soulmate, all of the above. Check every box. That's what she is. I get to ask the questions.
We'll see.
And I am a lover of good questions.
You don't like to be asked questions.
Oh, we'll get into that. We're going to talk about temperament and identity and all of that stuff later on. And yes, I don't like to be questioned. There's a difference. I like questions. I like answering questions. I don't like to be questioned. There's a difference. And we'll talk about that later on. Countercultural life. We'll get into all that. Understanding ourselves better so we can walk fully in our God-designed purpose. But as I said, it's my turn to ask the questions. And someone was concerned. She said, "You're not going to ask me any questions that I would be afraid to answer in front of my parents or my family or my kids." So you know I'm coming out the gate with one of those questions.
True, I will walk out of this room.
I would not do such a thing. No, when we get a Patreon account set up, that will be the post show, the unedited scenes. We'll get into those deeper questions. All right, so here we go.
I don't know what that means.
You don't know what that means? It's provocative. I always like saying provocative things. No one knows what it means. I can't wait till
I'm so scared. Since
see, y'all get to see the evolution of this podcast. We get better every time, and Noah's going to be on a mic before too long, and I can't wait until Noah gets on the mic. So here we go. Question numero uno. Easy money. What was your first impression of me? And how has it changed over time? Don't laugh so hard. Why are you laughing so hard? Hat on backwards and to the right. No, that's first impression. We could tell that story. That was in Japan. Her friend who liked me made the mistake of bringing Sabrena to my dorm room. For some reason, to this day, we haven't figured out, other than destiny and Jesus. That's why she brought you to the room. First impression. So don't be afraid. Say what you think. What are your thoughts? I'm not afraid. Go. First impression.
You're a very, can I say cocky individual?
Let the record show.
You're very confident in yourself.
Let the record show she was about to say a cocky white boy. That's what she was about to say. I caught you. I saw it rolling off your tongue. Cocky, confident cockiness is different. But I was immature and probably a little full of myself at the time.
Really thought you were a thug.
Really thought. I mean, let the record show. No. All right. How has that changed? Now what's your impression of me?
You have always been a caring and loving person. And I think the you that I met many years ago and the you now has grown and matured and
I hope so.
Stepped into his calling.
Amen.
Well, I mean, there are people who don't ever grow or mature.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was an easy one. That was an easy one.
Easy?
That was easy. What is one habit we each have that positively impacts our relationship?
One habit that we each have? Like we have together?
No. What is one habit that each of us do that positively impacts our relationship?
Like, what do I do for you and what do you do for me?
Yeah, I answer it that way.
Well, I'm not, like, we pray every night.
Okay.
Together. That's why I'm asking. Is
yeah.
Like an individual?
It can be that way, yeah.
So we pray together every single night before we go to sleep. And we try to meet once a week to discuss our week and what
Power hour. Couples power hour. We're going to do a whole episode on the couples power hour. Couples out there, you got to have a power hour where you connect and talk about life, family, calendar, and finances. So we're going to talk all about that. That's going to be a good one
because
too.
your calendar is a hot mess.
My calendar is a hot mess, as is your calendar. Your calendar is also a hot mess. But managing a household of 4 kids like you've done so well, you would say 5 kids because you always called me the 5th kid, for so long has been, you've really learned how to do it. So I think you would be able to share a lot of that with a lot of other people that may be struggling in this thing called mom life and being a manager of a household full of kids. So, all right. Speaking of those times where we have a lot on our calendar, how do we stay connected? What's your thought on how do we stay connected during busy and stressful times?
I think we're intentional about it.
What's that mean? What's intentional?
You call me every day at the same time, almost.
Systems.
Unless you are.
Systems. Males.
Unless you're in a meeting or something.
Build great systems to take care of your wife. Because I'm not. She is very loving. Opposites attract. People that know me know that I say the wise poet Paula Abdul once said 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, 3 steps back. We come together because opposites attract. She says I'm loving. I think I learned how to be loving. She has been loving since day one. And also she has really helped me grow in who I am and learning what's important in life.
Well, I used to come out of class to poetry on my car or flowers on my car.
I want to know right now who left poetry on your car because I need to track them down and beat them down.
Yeah, I'm wondering if any of that is still in that brain of yours.
I wrote you a poem recently. Didn't I? It was a poem. I wrote it to you recently. It was on a card or something. Yes, it was on a card when you were sick. Yes.
Yes.
See,
yes,
I still got it. Still got it. Yes. Gentlemen out there watching, do stuff like that. All the stuff that we do to get them, we don't do to keep them. That's what's weird. So all the stuff that we do to get them, once we get them, once we impress them enough to say yes to us in marriage, we don't do that anymore. And I'm challenging myself right now to continue to try to do that. Call them, get them stuff, tell them you love them, leave notes all over the house like I did a couple weeks back. Notes under her pillow, notes under the covers, notes on the where did I go? I went to some retreat or something and left lots of notes on my way out. So yeah, do the same stuff to keep them that you did to get them. That's the knowledge for today. What else? What is one lesson? Because we have 4 kids. All of our kids are in their 20s now. And we are still young looking and fabulous. And I don't know how she had 4 kids and still looks 28 years old. All right. What's one lesson that we want to teach our children that we learned along the way?
Just one?
Okay, 2, 5, 6, 10. What lessons do you want to teach?
Oh. See, I needed these questions ahead of time.
No, just think. What's one thing? What comes to your mind like right now? What's the first thing that pops into your head when you say, what's one thing we want to teach our kids that we learned along the way of this journey called life? What's one thing? The kids are going to watch this later on. Maybe not. They're going to become fans and follow us. Because everybody that knows me is going to listen to these podcasts because they think they're going to be on it. That's just how it is. And maybe eventually you will. And maybe eventually I'll talk about you in a good way or a bad way. We'll see. No, I won't talk about anybody bad.
Just to be loving and kind and...
That we learned along the way. Be loving and kind. I did something as a father that I wish I would not have done. I thought because of how I grew up, it was about being tough and it was about being strong. And I made them, it almost got to the point where, my dad would come spend time with us and he'd come hang out and he'd be like, look, I know when I get around that Carson household, y'all are ruthless because you can't say words wrong or we jump on it. And it was all in a way to make them tougher. But now as they've gotten older, I've had to kind of coach them back into we need to be loving. We need to say kind comments to each other. So I wish I would have done that differently. So you say be loving and kind. What's another thing that you would want to teach them that we did not know and we learned along the
I
way?
mean, making great financial decisions in the beginning.
Yes. Yes. Make great financial decisions. Don't buy a waterbed because it's cool. And then end up, I think it was like a $3,000 waterbed. We ended up paying with interest like $7,000, and it took us half our marriage to pay off. It seemed like, yeah. Don't make dumb decisions financially. 100%. I'm looking at the camera. Everybody that has my last name, and you don't even have to live in my house. You can have the last name of Carson. I'm talking to you right now. Don't make stupid financial decisions when you're young. Don't try to live outside of your means just to be cool while you're young. I told a young man this recently. I said, look, the age that I am now, the 40-something version of me, I'm happy and I have the toys that I wanted when I was 20, but I tried to get them when I was 20 and ended up making stupid financial decisions. So make good decisions that lead to getting you to the life you want later on in life. Anything else? Challenges that we face? Let's see. How has our faith influenced our relationship? It's a podcast. You got to talk. You don't just sit there telepathically. Okay. Even though we've been together long enough, we do communicate telepathically. I warned you
about doing this to me. I think I know it has made our relationship stronger. And because I didn't grow up in church, and I had and still have so many questions, you are a great source of things to ask questions and bounce things off of. And even like reading, we can read the same thing and see it differently. And I think it's pretty cool that, you grew up in church, you lived in church all through the week. And
it didn't help out when I was younger in our marriage. It didn't.
No.
Because I ran from church as soon as we got married. I don't think we didn't go to church, so we was in our mid-20s. Mm-hmm. We never stepped foot in a church. And you dragged me to the altar when I was 26 years old. And you were going to rededicate your life because you are out of control. I remember that church in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Cumberland Christian Center, I think is what it was called. Shout out to Pastor E.B. Herman, Dr. E.B. Herman. Drugged me to the altar. Said, Jesus is going to fix you because I'm tired of trying.
He did a great job.
Yeah, and our faith has shaped everything. And I wish, and we'll have to talk about this on a later podcast, so many miracles to our marriage, so many times where God has been faithful, so many times where he showed up, so many times that we didn't see it was miracles. I mean, so many times there were miracles. And one thing that we made crazy decisions in our young 20s and mid 20s. We started to get focused on faith and tried to walk this out, and started walking out spiritual formation, like walking out, growing in our faith. And my mom made one of the greatest comments about our family that just like highlighted this for me. She made it a few years back. She said, "Your house is just peaceful." She said, "There's just so much peace in your house," and it didn't used to be that way. And it is a testament to walking this faith life out and committing yourself, your thoughts, your desires, your family, committing it to God and trusting him to be there and be faithful like he always has been. Okay. Pray together. Pray together. Also, that's a key thing. It's interesting. Let me talk on that. I can pray in front of a room full of 10,000 people, never even think about it. I mean, everybody gets nervous, but I can pray in front of that many people. It was so hard to pray in front of my wife. I don't know why. I don't know if you know that. It was so difficult for me to pray in front of you.
Why?
I don't know. I think it was, I didn't want to mess up in front of you. Like I put more pressure on myself to pray in front of you than I did in front of a room full of people. So like I said, my brain earlier, what's easy is hard. What's hard is easy. Praying in front of a room full of people would be hard to people. It's not. It's easy for me. I'm just weird like that. But praying in front of my best friend was hard. And yeah, it was hard for me to pray in front of you for a long time. And I think you being involved with all the small groups and stuff that we led where I had to pray in front of you made me more comfortable. But praying together with you was difficult.
We're pros now.
Pros. Praying pros. Praying pros. Let's get a t-shirt. T-shirt made. Study studio. Praying pros. All right. What's the funniest moment we've shared together recently? Last two questions. This one, another one, and then the final 3 questions. Funniest moment we've shared together recently. We have some funny moments.
There are so many, but
there's so many funny moments. Because I'm not afraid to. She gets the full crazy version of me that not everybody gets.
I wish I could think of something, because usually they are just
Miranda,
laugh till you can't
the
breathe.
Miranda moment.
No.
Miranda. Ohana means family. Not that one.
You just had to do that.
I had to do it because I remembered. I do a great Stitch voice. So, funniest moment. We have so many funny. It's funny because you can't remember it right now. That's a funny moment.
That's why I told you can't just put me on the spot. You and the dog going down the stairs.
Oh, like when me and the dog fell down the stairs. The funniest, was the dog falling down the stairs because she went paws out. We have a cane. Well,
she fell because of you.
She fell because I tripped over her. Yeah. Yep. I mean, that's recent. That's recent. And we laughed so much. We were recently in another state at a football game, and we laughed the entire time with our friends. So, all right, funniest moment. This one's. I love this last. There's 2 more questions. This is the last one of this. This last one of these.
Of these.
If we could relive any day from our time together, which one would you choose and why?
Oh my gosh.
I got mine's easy.
The day we got married.
No. Oh, it was a great day, but that was a weird, awkward day. Justice of the peace in Japan. I didn't speak the language.
Okay, you go first.
Her mama still hated me. Her dad was very now her mom loves me now. I'm her favorite, even more than her. Her dad loves me. He's my biggest mentor in life. That was another. He's my inspiration. Anyway, good grief. I totally forgot about him on the last podcast. He's an inspiration. No. The day, if I could relive any day, it would be when our son got married to his wife. That day was...
That was a great day.
Fantastic. And that was only 2 years ago. 1 year ago. Okay, DJ Sierra, don't watch this podcast. It was
2 years in June.
It'll be 2 years in June. What's yours? And you want me to elaborate? The day was awesome because it was just awesome from the beginning to the end.
Really?
That whole week was awesome. Look, if you're going to get married, do it and spend 5 days. 5 days with family, good times, dancing, parties. It was great. And then the day they got married was the most amazing day that I have had in a very long time because it was all the emotions in one day. I mean, every single emotion. I had the honor of walking with my best friend down the aisle as she was with me to officiate the wedding. And that was, and then seeing my super tough, I don't cry son cry during the wedding was, all of that. It was a good time.
Yeah, I agree. That was an amazing day. I mean, just because it's also like a change in our lives. It's a whole new season because our son is now married and starting his own family, and it was a beautiful day and kind of a sad day, knowing that your child, who you raised and who you believe is a wonderful child, is going to create his own family unit and is definitely his own person now, and it's hard for a mama.
Oh, it's hard for mom. Okay, so you can't use that day. Now you got to use a different day.
Why? That was a great day. Or any of the days that any of my children were born.
That's such a mother answer. The days our kids were born. What do you remember about DJ's birth?
But he was a month early and we were not ready.
Yeah, we weren't ready until like the fourth kid, I don't think. He
We
was a
were
month
not
early. We weren't ready. The nurse was crazy. I remember that day very well.
ready.
The nurse was crazy. We had a crazy nurse. Jada. What do you remember about Jada's birth? How long? What do we got, producer? We're good. What do you remember about Jada's birth?
She was super fast.
Yeah,
The
so
doctor barely made it.
ladies out there that are pregnant, what was the tea?
Red raspberry.
Red raspberry tea. She drank that tea and walked. We were walking a lot. She drank that tea and walked. And literally, by the time we got to the hospital, her water broke in the shower. By the time we got to the hospital,
So many details.
so many details. I remember these are good details. TMI. By the time we got to the hospital, she was born in like 6 or 7 minutes. Like the doctor barely made it. They like looked at me like I'm gonna have to do something. I'm like, I didn't sign up for that.
Actually,
I mean, I was a great receiver in football, and I can catch anything. To this day, I can catch anything. But yeah, that would have been a hard one. Okay, Jasmine, that's easy. 9/11.
she wasn't born on 9/11.
No, Jasmine was born a month after 9/11, and that was the craziest time in my military career. All of that whole thing was crazy. I was sitting in Tampa General Hospital when the planes hit the towers. I was the only one in uniform. And literally right after the first plane hit, saw it up on TV, a guy sitting beside me sees me in uniform. He's like, "Hey man, you think that's a terrorist attack?" And I'll never forget. I looked him in his eye and I said, "They are not crazy enough to hit us on our home turf." I said, "They ain't crazy enough to do that."
And all the while.
And
me and the
then
doctor in the back just checking on a baby.
25 seconds later, I see the plane hit. I didn't even know what happened to you in that. I remember how did that happen? Like you were the doctor's checking on the baby. I'm in the waiting area. And then you came out and I'm like, we got to go now. My cell phone, flip phone, was blowing up. And they were telling me to get back to base because we were under attack. Good times. And Isaiah. So Isaiah, born in North Carolina. What do you remember about him?
I mean, by the fourth one, you know what to expect. So
It was pretty easy.
we had a great community of people who watched the other three.
Yes. You have to have a great community around you because especially when you got a whole lot of kids. Everybody always says to your kids are so well behaved. And we were like, who are you talking about? What? Your kids
They
are so
just
well.
show out in their safe space.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
it.
I have never been so good at whisper yelling until my oldest son and oldest daughter fought the entire time that we were at Disney World the first time. I mastered the art of whisper yelling. Calm down right now. Stop hitting your sister. Get your hands off your sister. And we didn't have that fast pass. We didn't have none of that. So we stood in line for 2 hours while they fought each other the entire time. I had bad memories of Disney World
Yes, you did.
for a long time. All right. Last question. Are you ready?
No.
What is your favorite conspiracy theory?
I am not like you. I don't think I have one, except we were just talking to Noah because he has a sticker on his laptop that says birds are not real. And I have bird feeders in the backyard and I love birds. I feel like I'm like 75 right now, but
And plot twist.
but
They aren't eating the seeds.
so they explained to me that birds are not real. They're actually surveillance robots that recharge on a power line.
Absolutely. Birds are not real. And all the time you think they're eating seeds, they're not.
They are.
They're taking the seeds, spitting it out. And then
So
go
it's
sit
not my
on-
favorite. I just think it's funny. It's very interesting.
So what's your favorite?
I don't have one. I don't spend my time on conspiracy.
Didn't you tell me
theories.
recently that you think hurricanes are controlled?
No, I didn't tell you that.
You don't think hurricanes are controlled?
Nope. Didn't tell you that.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Hurricanes are controlled for lithium deposits.
That
Didn't you tell me that?
did not come out of my
You
mouth.
didn't tell me that?
No.
Huh.
Mm,
I thought you did tell me
I
that.
did.
Are you positive you didn't tell me
I'm
that?
positive I didn't tell you that.
Are you sure? I think you do. Okay.
We're going to fight.
We're going to fight. And right now I got like 11 different conspiracy theories and I can't think of any of them right now. She said 9/11 was an inside job. That's what she said.
Okay. You're done.
I'm done.
Just turn off his mic.
Bilderberg Group, present makers. They all this.
Is his mic off?
Oh, okay. Lucky you. Well, thank y'all for hanging out with us, Countercultural Life Podcast. I hope you enjoyed this one. We're going to talk much more about relationships, about marriage, about family, what that looks like, how to be good at this. I'm not saying we're good at it, but I'm saying we've started to figure stuff out. We've been doing it for 27 years now together. So it was, I should hope we have some sort of sense. I mean, are we the anomaly? Do people stay married that long anymore? It's kind of crazy. But our parents, both of our parents are still married and have never been divorced. And I think that is also helpful to see that modeled growing up as well.
Mm-hmm,
so
sure.
We're going to talk more about relationships, countercultural life, doing it different. We are out. Sabrena thinks that hurricanes are controlled. All right. Conspiracy theory out. Peace out.